Hi everyone, I'm Ms.Lawler and I'm the athletic trainer here at Hawthorne High School. I wanted to just give a little presentation on the physical form and how to make sure that everything is properly and completely filled out before turning it into the school for final clearance from our school physician. So, what needs to be completed or turned in? It's a 4-page packet. Pages 1 and 2 are completed by the parent and the student. This page does not have to be filled out by the physician for anything, but it should still be brought to the appointment to make sure that they are able to go over everything and see the health history before they complete the physical portion. Pages 3 and 4 are completed by the physician, and the parent and student don't have to fill anything out on either of these 2 pages. If your child has asthma or requires an inhaler, an asthma action plan is required to be turned in with the student's current physical. This does need to be done yearly. And if your child has an EpiPen, there also needs to be an EpiPlan attached with the physical, and this also needs to be completed yearly. This is the first page of the physical form. So everything on this page does need to be filled out completely. Mark yes or no for all of the questions 1 through 51, for females 1 through 54. Any yes answers do need to be explained on the space provided on the bottom right of the page. So any yes answer that is marked throughout the first page should be explained on the bottom right. If any of the yes answers are marked for questions 5 through 16, your child may require a cardiac clearance note before returning or before being cleared by our school physician. If your child has already seen a cardiologist, please provide the note with the physical packet when you're handing it in. If there are any yes answers marked for asthma, please attach the asthma action plan with the physical packet. And if you're unsure if your child needs a cardiac clearance note or if they need an asthma action plan, please just reach out to me. I can answer any questions you might have about it. And at the bottom of the page, both the student and the parent are required to sign and date, and that does have to be filled out on both the first and the second page as well. So here we have page 2. This page should be completed whether or not all answers are marked yes or no. Please make sure that this page is included in the physical packet when handing it in. Even if all the answers are marked no, it's still part of the 4-page packet that does need to be turned in. And again, parent and student both need to sign at the bottom and date. All right, here we have page 3. This is the first page that the physician fills out. What to look for on this page. So sometimes physicians, they get busy, they might miss something here or there, but our school doctor will go through and make sure that everything is there. I will do that before I bring it down to him. So if there's anything missing, we can just avoid any steps in between where your child might not get cleared right away or it might take a little bit longer. So all of the sections under the examination need to be filled in. This includes their pulse or their heart rate and both right and left vision. Sometimes the physicians might accidentally miss one or the other. There are a lot of things in this section to be filled out, and it is a small space, so it's easy to miss. All right, and then another thing to check for is if the physician checks off cleared for all sports without restriction, cleared with restriction, or not cleared. That needs to be marked on both this page and the page after. It's sometimes missed, but it does need to be checked on both pages or else our school physician won't sign off on the clearance. And then at the bottom of the page, there should be the physician's signature or a stamp from the physician's office, and this needs to be seen on both pages 3 and 4 as well, not one or the other. And we have our last page of the physical packet. So here to look for is, this is the second page the physician needs to fill out. It's the final page of the 4-page packet. At the top here, we have the same checks that were on the previous page. Has the physician checked off cleared for all sports without restriction, cleared for all sports with restriction, or not cleared? Make sure that one of these boxes is checked off, and it should be the same box that's checked off on the previous page. And here we have a stamp for the physician's office on the left side of the page. This should be either stamped right in this box. Sometimes they don't do it in that box, but as long as there is a stamp on the page, that's okay. And where the red circle is now, that's where the physician's signature or another stamp should be placed. And then the completed cardiac assessment module does need to be filled out before turning it in, or else the child will not be cleared. The asthma action plan can be found on our website. I will attach a link to this as well. This is the first page of the asthma action plan. It should be filled out by the physician and the parent. The physician will fill everything in for what medication they're taking, what type of inhaler they're being prescribed, and how often they should be taking it. And then the parent's signature is required just to make sure that they have signed off on everything that the physician says. And here's the second page that requires just another parent signature. These should both be turned in with the physical packet. Physicals are due once a year. Asthma action plans are also due once a year. So just because your son or daughter might have had one for their freshman year, if they still require an inhaler their sophomore year, a new updated asthma action plan is required. Here we have some important links that I'm going to be talking about. So we have our physical form. You can use this tiny URL. If not, it is also on our high school website. It can be printed out and turned in as a hard copy, or it can be emailed to myself. Asthma action plans should be turned in as a hard copy with the physical, or emailed to myself with the physical packet. And then another thing that I'm just going to throw in here, which I am doing another presentation on, the Our School registration. So this is the website we're now using for all sport registrations. So any activity that your son or daughter might be involved in, you have to register online. This must be completed prior to the start of every season. So just because your son played football in the fall, you still have to fill it out if they play basketball in the spring, or lacrosse, or basketball in the winter, or lacrosse in the spring. Physicals don't get uploaded onto Our School, so this step can be completely skipped. Those just get turned into myself. And the final part of the registration is the health history questionnaire, which is online with the registration. And this also must be completed with the registration for each season, just to make sure that nothing has changed throughout the course of the year from the time that the physical was done. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me by email or phone. Thank you for listening, and go Bears!